What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. Today's a beautiful day. I'm so glad to be here with you again. I mean, look at my brand new shirt. Looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, like a real African warrior, a real African king. So today, again, we're talking about Africa. As usual, we're going to focus on South Africa. Something very interesting happening. I don't know if you remember a while back, we had a situation where South Africa was accused of sending weapons to Russia. And the president came forward and said, absolutely not. In fact, we're going to put an investigation team together to investigate the story. South Africa was accused of sending weapons through a ship in Simon's Storm to Russia to reinforce Russia in its war against Ukraine. The government of South Africa, through the president, said, absolutely not. We're not doing this. We're going to have an investigation done, then we're going to come up with conclusions. So while that stuff was happening and everybody was scrambling left, right, center, John Stayson, who's the South African leader of the opposition, predominantly white, the DA, has come forward and saying after his trip to Ukraine, he found that some of the weapons were absolutely South Africans. In other words, you accuse South Africa of sending weapons to Russia, okay? The president of South Africa comes forward and says, no, we're not sending any weapons to Russia. Not that I'm aware of. However, if you like, we're going to have an investigation team to look into this matter and come with conclusion. Then the opposition party leader comes forward and say, oh yes, I had a trip in Ukraine and I found that some of the weapons that I saw, the residue of the weapons, are definitely South Africans. Okay, so let's watch and I'll make a comment right after.
Well, you do have anarchists in this country like John Stayson. Who says that he believes there were arms sent to Russia. When president investigate that thing, you then have overzealous people who say that he shouldn't do it. There is a man here called John Stayson from the DA who went and told Nick, a reporter from the United Kingdom, that he believes that what he saw when he went to Ukraine, those are arms from South Africa. He said he saw it for himself. So what should we do?
This doesn't make any sense at all. Why? Yes, I'm going to let you continue watching this. Somebody from outside accuses you on your house, saying that you are sending weapons to another country. You say, no, we're not sending weapons to another country. But your brother say, you know what? Yes, I saw the weapons there. We are sending the weapons. Doesn't make any sense. Where's the unity here? Let's go.
Others are simplifying it. No, the president should have just gone and checked the slips. We are running a country, not a banana republic. We are being accused here by John Stayson. Leave Brigade, the U.S. ambassador. Leave him. We understand U.S. people now. How are they and all of that? They like to make these allegations. They can tomorrow wake up and say there's going to be a big war in South Africa. They make those allegations from time to time. We need to get to know which kind of people are they. But they are also dangerous because they started this thing that we're giving arms to Russia. Now, we are trying to play a role there. We know the effects of that war on the developing countries, cost of living of our people, right? And then it has affected us negatively. It has affected us negatively. And it is important that we deal with that war. And if people open up like they've done with us now, that they are ready, right, to engage, it is important we give that process a chance. And with the possibility that there will be a ceasefire. But all of these things are not easy. You've got to work on them. We have taken a clear position that we are not interested in promoting war. And we cannot, therefore, have an allegation hanging on us that we gave arms to one party in the war situation. We've got to clear our country. It's not a small feat. And if it was that easy, it will be easy. Now, President probably has got a report on his table from the Minister of Defense, Defense Intelligence, and everybody. They say this thing is not there.
So this is Fikile Mbalula, who's the Secretary General of the ANC. For those of you who don't know, he's the party of Nelson Mandela. That's where he came from. And John Stayson is a white politician of South Africa. For those of you who don't know, South Africa has a lot of people. Yes, it's not only black people, there are white people. So basically, for many years after white people came in Africa, many settled in Southern Africa. Some came to Zimbabwe, others in South Africa. There was what was called apartheid that separated black people from white people. So white people ruled South Africa and black people were subjected to a lot of penury, a lot of difficulties. They worked as nobodies. They literally had no qualification, not allowed to go to school properly, not to get at least a level of education as white people. They did very small jobs. Sometimes they were forced to carry passports to move from one place of the country to the other. But many years after, with Mandela, peace came to South Africa. So white people and black people got together, tried to form some sort of a peace agreement. Black people became free. That was in 1994, not a long time ago. So after independence of South Africa in 1994, it was clearly two groups of people. The black people that suffered in one side with the ANC and the white people in a different other group. They never really mingled and got together. The DA came across as the political party that was trying to bring people together. The party that will bring both black South Africans and white South Africans together to understand each other. So they don't have a society where people vote people just because they're black or just because they're white. So the DA was going to be like a fusion of black and white South African together. The reality of it is very different. Let's get back to basics. We're going to get back to that. If a stranger comes to your house and accuses your brother of doing something, whether it's right or wrong, what will your stance be toward that situation? You will first stay quiet, call your brother to the side, have a discussion with him before you speak out. Why? Because he's your brother. Because he's your family member. Because you don't want to put him out there. Because you don't want to sacrifice him. Now, why, after the United States accused South Africa of sending weapons to Russia, why didn't people of the DA consult with the ANC, which is the party of Nelson Mandela, to have a chat first? Say, hey, brother, we are South Africa after all. Let's put aside our political differences. Let's have a discussion. Was the weapons sent or not? How do we come together? How do we speak out to the world with one voice? Shouldn't that be the way you express yourself? That wasn't the stance of John Stazen. He decided to go to Ukraine, in spite of the fact that South Africa is actually a partner of Russia and the BRICS. That benefits everybody. I mean, it doesn't really matter what political party you belong to. When your country is a partner of another country into a political view, in a way of bringing good and opportunities for your people, is it okay that you go to a country that's opposite your country? So John Stazen went to Ukraine to do his own investigation, okay? At the time, it says, over the course of the next weekend, I will be visiting refugee camps as well as meeting with various mayors, governors, business leaders, students, and ordinary Ukrainian citizens to see firsthand the effect of Russian invasion and the ongoing occupation part of Ukraine. In the era of fake news and propaganda, this is the only way to truly know what's happening, he said in a statement. He said the purpose of the trip was to see for himself what was happening in Ukraine. So, I don't know, your brother is in a situation with a group of people that don't necessarily like him. Would you go to that group of people being a neutral person, or you just stand back and have a discussion with your brother on what direction you're going? So if you listen to Fikile Mbalula, who's the Secretary General of the ANC, he says the DA is ready to do anything just to get in power, including sacrificing the whole country. By accusing the country of sending weapons to Ukraine, it's a way of sacrificing the country. They don't see the interest of the country as a whole, but they only see the interest of the DA as a political party. Is he right to say that? Should the DA representative go ahead and accuse the country of sending weapons when the investigation is still ongoing? Is that something okay to do? Or would it be better for everybody to stay put until the end of the investigation before anybody speaks out? Now, a lot of people have accused the DA of being a racist political party, even though they portray themselves as mixed, everybody, bringing the black people, bringing the Indians, bringing the white people together to work as a nation, talking about South Africa as a rainbow nation. Is it really a rainbow nation? So the DA strategy was in some way having some leaders that are black. The DA was founded by white people, but having some leaders that are black would be a good strategy to bring in a lot of black people who are sort of scared to really trust white people of South Africa, because many black people are still scared, still afraid of white people because of the things that has happened in the past. They feel like maybe if they get back in power, maybe we're going to get back into apartheid. Obviously, if you want to gain power, you will need to have in your group, in your political party, some people that represent the people that are scared of you in order to get them to like you. So many leaders were actually black South Africans in the DA. But unfortunately, we've seen many black leaders leave the DA. We can see here comments from a political analyst, Professor Mbeki Mgomezulu. He said the fact of the matter is that black people who have joined the DA and were given leadership position have been exiting one after one. The list of the leaders who have exited the DA, including Mbali Ntuli, Pumzile Van Dam, Musi Maimane, Herman Mashaba, Lindiwe Mazibuko. These are mostly very bright young black people that worked with the DA for a while, trying to really create the random sentiment. Obviously, if you want to create a society where black and white and Indians and Chinese and everybody gets along together, you got to bring a mixture of people. But some of them felt like the intention wasn't really genuine. The black leaders were only brought in to make the party gain popularity. But the profound reason were not really because they wanted equality. So let's see, according to Wikipedia, what are some of the reasons some of these black African leaders in the DA left the party. Pumzile Van Dam, born in 1983. She resigned as an MP and later revealed that she resigned because the party had told her to stop criticizing Facebook. I could not do that and compromise my value, so I resigned. You are told you cannot criticize Facebook. Why could you be told that unless we have some sort of partnership with Facebook? Musi Maimane, born in 1980, in his resignation speech, Maimane said, "Despite my best effort, the DA is not the vehicle best suited to take forward the vision of building one South Africa for all." The people that accuse the DA of being selective about the leadership, getting black people together just to get the numbers, but not really willing to live in equality, were they right or wrong? So Fikile Mbalula is talking about John Stazen because he had an interview with the BBC spokesperson and he said he saw the weapons and the weapons definitely come from South Africa. Is it okay to talk like that about your own people? I mean, some people will see that as turning your back to your own people to the benefit of the others. You are part of the opposition that is sort of predominantly white in a country that suffered from certain white people. Now we find ourselves in 2023, 20 years later, in a war where your country is partnered with a country that is friend in the name of brotherhood. Would you take the side of your countrymen or you would take the side of other people? I mean, we all know that in America, when America goes to war, the left and the right gets together. They agree when they go to war, even if the war is not necessarily reasonable at that specific time. Okay, the Democrat and the Republican will sit together and say, you know what? In the name of America, we are going together. Whether we are right or we are wrong, in this one, we are going together. We're supporting one another. We know that we're not right going to Iraq. But how many times have you seen people from opposition parties saying, okay, we were wrong going to that party. We shouldn't have done that. They stay quiet. What do you think of South Africa? Was this the right time for John Stazen to express himself, even if South Africa was sending weapons, before consulting with the government and having a discussion, or at least waiting for the investigation to be over before coming forward with these ideas? Let me know how you feel about this. How can South Africa move forward when there's clearly a divide, a separation? One group, the ANC, which is the Black Party of Nelson Mandela, turning to Russia, while the DA, which is predominantly white, turns to the West, hoping to get support. God bless.